Is taxation theft? Is the fact that the government is forcing you to pay taxes, is that robbing you of your hard-earned money? Well, in short, the answer is no. So for those of you who are pressed for time, there you have your answer. You can go ahead and hit the subscribe and the like button next to this video. But if you want to know why I said no, if you got a few minutes, stick around as I'm going to explain to you why taxation is not theft. What is going on, family? It's your favorite uncle cousin, Tyrone Gregory, the self-employed tax guy, here to finally, after all these years, address every DM, every email, every comment that I've ever received that has presented me with the information that taxation is theft, it is illegal, that there is no law stating anything about we shouldn't be paying taxes as U.S. citizens. For as long as I've been creating these videos, trying to help people understand how to navigate the jungle of the taxes that they pay, there's always been somebody telling me that what I'm teaching is wrong, that I'm misleading people, doing people injustice because taxation is theft. And I used to always just laugh and argue with them back and forth, like, you know, prove it. And they want to get articles and do all this other stuff. And I'm like, but that's not showing me anything. So I am finally creating this video for those who are constantly asking me to prove that taxation is not theft, right? They're the ones who are always saying that there is no law that says that we must pay taxes. So with that being said, I am going to go through and break down everything, and so we can have a clear understanding of the legalities. Now, don't understand, I am not a lawyer, so when I'm talking about legalities, I'm referring to what my interpretation of the law is based on what it says. So with that, the first thing we're going to do is talk about what is a law, okay? Now, the definition of a law is a system of rules which a particular country, let's talk about the U.S., or community recognizes as regulating the actions of its members and which it may enforce by the impositions of penalties. Now, as you can see from that, I have underlined three things, right? The word rules, the word member, and the word enforce. Because of that definition, there are three things to understand. One, what is a rule? Okay, what does it mean by says the members of a country, which obviously should be us, because as U.S. citizens, we are members of this country. If you have a social security number, you are a member of this country, right? So that right there. And then I want to focus on the word enforcement. So really, we're going to focus on rules and enforcement because I just broke down what members of the country is. So with that being understood, let's get back to this, because the next thing I want us to understand is what is a rule? Because remember, the law says that is a system of rules. So what is a rule? And here it is. A rule is simply, here's the definition, is one of a set of explicit or understood regulations or principles governing conduct within a particular activity or sphere. Now, what is the particular activity that we're talking about? Taxes, right? So when we look at rules and laws, so I say laws is rules, and rules is simply things that govern conduct within a particular activity. This particular activity is taxes. So we're going to see how we're putting these things together. Now, with that being said, I want us to understand A couple of things here. First of all, let me summarize what a rule is, right? Because we saw what it said. But in summary, a rule is a statement that says what a particular person is and isn't allowed to do, right? We saw the definition, but in summary, a rule is simply a statement that says what a person is and isn't allowed to do. So let's do a quick recap. A law is a system of rules regulating the actions of its members, which can be enforced. Do we got that? Do we understand that? Is that making sense? It is a system of rules regulating the actions, right? We understand what a rule is, telling people what they can and cannot do. The members, that's us. We have a social security card, the social security numbers. So we are members of the United States, which can be enforced. That is the last thing we're going to focus on, is the term enforced. And as I go through this, we're going to get a good understanding of how or who, what is being enforced. Okay. So now that we understand that, let us go to the original law book of the United States and its government. You ready? I'm gonna put it on the screen here. The Constitution. Okay. It states, well, first of all, we understand, right? Like if you've taken history as a member of this United States, you've taken history, you've heard the term Constitution of the United States of America. That's us. That's our government. We are members of such. Therefore, we are bound by its laws. The Constitution is the original law book of the United States and its government. It is what gives them the rules, and we understand the rules. It tells them what they can and cannot do of a specific action, and that action is pertaining to taxes. So what does the original law book say about taxes? Well, let's look at it and see. The Constitution says in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1, that the Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes. We can stop right there, because that in itself is the whole point, the whole rule, law, whatever. So when they say there's no law that they can't find, I really don't understand, because it's clearly right there that Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes. Now it says other things, right? And we'll read it for the sake of Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, duty, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. But I'm going to read that first line one more time. Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes. Right there. If the, not even if, we understand that the Constitution of the United States of America is the governing rule book for United States and its Congress. That is the law in which all other laws are built upon. It is the foundation. So that says they have the power, the right, the rule, which says what they can and cannot do in an activity. The activity is taxes. It says it right there, that they have the authority to collect taxes. So here's the thing. Let's talk about now our next group of people, right? Because here's the thing that I want us to understand. We're getting ready to talk about enforcement. Let us now talk about the IRS and their involvement in the tax collection process. Because in a lot of the videos that people forward me to watch and try to argue their point of how taxation is theft and paying taxes is illegal, a lot of the videos that they send me, I hear them often say that they cannot find any laws within the Internal Revenue Code about paying taxes, and therefore taxes is illegal. And I've even seen videos where they've had ex-IRS employees, IRS agents on there saying, yeah, I lost my job because I questioned it. And, they terminated me because I was questioning the authority of paying taxes because I couldn't find nothing in the IRS handbook or anything about paying taxes. Fine. Let me break this down for you. The IRS is a collection agency, okay? They are a third-party collection agency employed on behalf of the United States Treasury Department, okay? Please understand that. The Internal Revenue Service, right? Think about the name. They're internal, right? Because they are an internal branch of the Revenue Service, which is the United States Treasury Department. That's why you make your checks payable to the United States Treasury and not the IRS. Why? Because the IRS are not the ones you're paying taxes to. Okay? Understand that. So you will not find any laws about the legality of the obligation to pay taxes in any IRS documentation because they are not the agency that controls it. The United States Treasury is. Okay? And just in case you are curious, okay, here it is. I'm going to put this out here. Title 26 of the U.S. Code is the code book that regulates the IRS. Okay? So, again, the IRS is a third party controlled by the U.S. Treasury Department, and that is regulated by Title 26. And if we look at Title 26, it says here in code, the U.S. Code, subsection 1, under tax imposed on parts A, B, C, D, and E, it starts with the very sentence, there is hereby imposed on the taxable income of. And what they're saying in sections A, B, C, and D is talking about, okay, if your filing status is this, or if you are in the state, if you are the trust, and your income is between this amount and this amount, this is the amount of taxes that you pay. But it says there is hereby imposed on the taxable income of, and it lays out the amounts based on your filing status that you shall pay a tax on. So when you look at that, that is what the IRS uses as a rule book to collect taxes. Very simple. You're not going to find, and so let me back up before I get it, because this is really getting to me here. When people are telling you this, it's wordplay. I want us to be smart enough to filter through the minutia, right? Because it's wordplay. They're messing with your mind. Oh, I couldn't find anything in the IRS code. You're not going to find anything in the IRS code because they're not the ones who regulate the payment of taxes. The United States Treasury is. So when you listen to them say that, it's like, oh yeah, y'all trying to really trick people. But understand, that's why your favorite Uncle Cousin is here to help you, wade through that. IRS is not the one. They are a third-party collection agency. They simply work on behalf of the United States Treasury to help them collect and enforce, because there is where the enforcement comes in. It's kind of like, you have the laws of your state, you have the laws of your city, and then you have a police department that enforces those laws. The police aren't the ones who wrote them. They just enforce them. Okay, same thing. The IRS is an enforcement agency of the laws set forth by the United States Constitution that says taxes can be collected. The U.S. Title Code shows how much taxes can be collected, and the IRS simply acts as a collector and collects the tax. Very simple. Hope that's understood. Because when people are saying, well, I can't find it in the IRS code, that's like saying that I'm trying to change the brakes of my Honda Accord and the instructions is messed up. Well, going back to the example, it's like, you're changing the brakes on a Honda Accord, but you're reading the instruction manual from a Toyota Tundra. You're not going to find it in there. Two totally separate things. So now that you know, my people, don't try not to pay your taxes. You've seen the headlines. That don't work well for people. Just, I don't even want to say figure out a way to deal with it, but pay your taxes, what you owe, and not a penny more, right? That's the only thing you can do. And if you're having difficulty trying to figure out what that's like, trying to figure out exactly how much taxes to pay, shoot me a message. That's what your favorite uncle cousin is here for. I got plenty of videos on there. You can check them out. Check out how to file taxes for the self-employed. I did 2 of those videos. Join my self-employed pro community, my paid private community, where we actually go into detail about specific strategies. But do not try to pay your taxes. That is not going to end well for you. And for anybody who is going to try to still combat and say that taxes is theft and it's illegal, please understand that if you leave a comment, I'm just simply going to refer you back to this video. Please understand that if you try to go down a rabbit hole, I'm not going down the rabbit hole with you. I will offer this, however. If you're going to say something, prove it. Not just prove it with text and theory. I need to see it in the courts. Show me court case. You could even just give me one. I multiply like to have at least 4 to make something more valid. But show me a court case where a taxpayer, a regular, normal working taxpayer, has not paid taxes, went to the courts, the Supreme Courts or any other Ninth Circuit courts, and said, I don't have to pay taxes. Here's why. And the courts have agreed. Show me that court case, because what's going to be key there are the facts, the circumstances, the instruments used. Something that the average UX taxpayer can actually hang their hat on and say, yo, this scenario fits me. I can go to the courts because here is a precedented court case that shows that as a U.S. citizen, I don't have to pay taxes. If you cannot provide me with that, please do not DM me, do not email me, do not find me on social media, follow me, and then try to send all kind of messages and comment on everything. Don't do none of that. Just sit up here and swallow this pill and enjoy your day. And that is it for me, my family. Know that I love y'all. And anybody else who has regular questions, by all means, leave me a comment. But for those of you who think that is opposite, please don't. Go from there. But that is it. Know that I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.
Perfect.